Marshall, Colorado, checking in.
You have been muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
Okay, it is
Mute off.
January 24th, 2017. Don't have a whole lot to go tonight. Had a lot of personal things going on. Had a lot of conference calls with grand juries in Colorado, Michigan, and other areas in the last 2 days. So had a lot of things going on. Actually, intel-wise, going down. Sent a mass letter or a public letter to the new president that included all of his cabinet members for the Marshals. Pretty much every single one of his cabinet members have been confirmed except for 3, which they are pretty much going to be pushed through. So I went ahead and added them into the letter so that we are going to be publicly recognized as Continental Marshals. And what I put in the letter, I'm not going to speak. Okay, I was muted, but anyway. So as I was saying, I've put in the letter about who we are and who we are not. I put in there per Constitution because of Trump's speech and about the people and we the people and handing the government back over to the people because
You have
of
been
it
muted.
being federalized
To unmute
and
yourself,
it's not
press the
supposed
star
to be
key
per
twice.
Constitution. So in the letter that addresses that, it also addresses different aspects of the war manual and the state and national militia, which per the war manual would be us as Continental Marshals and how we do our oaths publicly. And we all know that per Constitution that for many, almost hundreds of years actually, public officers and public office holders have not been doing their oaths properly. So that would counsel their office positions as null and void. Therefore, my letter concerning our oaths that we have taken and put into public records with our counties and our Secretary of State in our state and with the D.C. and the copyright that I have done, getting authentication with the governor and with the executive secretary with the General Assembly in Georgia would make us that armed militants in the war manual that are diplomatic immunity militants that would put us as those people under the war manual that would be under our commander-in-chief of the president by law, by Supreme Court law, by Congress. So that all that is in that letter. It's a very professional letter, like I said. So I'm waiting. I sent that registered mail yesterday, and we'll be waiting on the reply from that letter. I was urged to do it, so I did it. I will say that I have been in contact with a diplomat who got in touch with me Sunday, who I talked at length with, called me again today. I will be meeting him personally sometime this week after doctor's appointments that I have to go to. That will be going over some certain things with me. He agrees with the non-citizen state national that I'm in process of and 4 people in Georgia have gone through, and that I'm going to be helping all of y'all with very shortly. Some of the people in the Jure have already started the process as well. Hamilton is one of them, which is a process that is working and is 100% work. After that process, this diplomat is also going to be helping me with an international diplomatic passport and tag, but he brought to my attention that Lamar is not the only constitutional court in Georgia, and that Georgia is going to be the first state that actually kicks off this de jure movement. And the reason being is, and I did not know this, one, our Georgia Secretary of State, Kemp, is a constitutional Secretary of State, but there's also a de facto Secretary of State that has been acting in the state of Georgia. And there's also a constitutional de jure court of record that is working in Fulton County. Now, with that being said, I will be escorting this diplomat along with my son and our marshal's credentials and paperwork with this diplomat to this court in the next couple of weeks. And that will be on public notice and probably be recorded for the benefit for the marshals. And I'm also in process of getting, I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but the de facto has been using a common law technique unlawfully from the beginning of time, and that is the public notary. The public notary is a common law. Common law. You can look it up. And there's a lot of background noise from somewhere, from one of the organizers. But the public notary is a common law thing. So when you go and get anything notarized, that is a common law move. Strictly common law. That is not to be used on a code and statutes, admiralty, federal court at all. It's a common law. Public notary is common law, and it's supposed to be given out from a Secretary of State and from a court, period. It's common law. So I am in the process of getting my public notary for common law for our court of records, and that will go through the de jure common law court of records in Atlanta, so that we can have all of our court of records and all of our marshals and all of our de jure work notarized. As long as it doesn't have my name in it, will be public notary. I will be able to use that, and then we'll also get somebody in other states. Every state will be able to do that. That's very important, so that we'll be able to have our documentations of our court of records have a public notary, which is common law, again, like I said, on their court of records, which holds a public notary, by the way, has more authority than any court clerk on the planet. Any court clerk. A notary, public notary, I'll say that again, a public notary, and you can look this up, public notary has more authority than any court clerk on the planet. Meaning, no judge, Supreme, federal, court, civil, it doesn't matter, magistrate, doesn't matter, cannot argue any court of record with a public notary of common law seal on it. Period. None. So with that, I am going to yield.
Mute off.
You start to unmute yourself. I tried to unmute everybody. Yes.
Hi, Marshal Moore, Colorado. Are we able to get access to that letter that you wrote at any time?
When I get that letter back, or when I get notification that to the Senate Registered Mail, when I get notification that that letter has been sent out, then I will get copies out, yes.
Okay, and one last thing. all the badges have been going into production. They're out working, and isn't he mailing them directly to us, or is he mailing them to you, and then you're mailing them to us?
No, what I'm going to be doing, the letters that the spreadsheet that went out to the guy that's making the badges, he'll have the address to everybody, and those will be mailed to you.
Okay. Thank you. I yield.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Ty Griffin.
I've got a lot of background noise, so I cannot hear you. If you're not speaking or not asking a question, please mute yourself so that everyone can be heard, please.
May I?
And I will have a batch, like I said earlier on my Facebook. If you're on there or not, I don't know. I will have a batch. I'm just running a little slow for the past couple of days, but I will have the new batch of IDs going out the first of next week for everybody that has not gotten their ID yet. I just had some devastating news the past couple of days and haven't been able to finish those up, but they will be out the first of next week.
May I?
Yes.
Marshal Moore again. Hey, you had sent me, Ms. Haywood, the things the other day, the de facto to de jure, a copy of the resume thing, and I somewhere cannot find that again. Can you resend that to me at your next convenience?
You're breaking up. I cannot hear what you just said.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I said you had sent me, this Marshal Moore out of Colorado, sent me the resume questionnaire, the fact that de jure, and a couple other things. And for some reason, I cannot find it anywhere. Can you resend that to me again?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I yield.
Let me make something else very clear. We've had some issues come up within the grand jury and with other people within the de jure recently. That's very saddening, actually. I'm not going to call anybody out right now. I'm not. But keep your circle very close and really know who has your six. And I'm going to leave that there. But when that's why we have this process of vetting, and that's why we've come up with this resume and questions that we've asked, and this is why we speak to people and we educate people on who the de jure is and about common law, and why we ask the questions we ask. And, you know, this has been going on now for 6, 7, 8 years, for a while. Some people have been in this, they call it a movement. I don't call it a movement, but they've been in this for 20, 30 years doing education, research, different things, and have felt people have been their closest allies or closest friends, only to find out that they weren't. So I would really urge you all to be very, very careful of who you have around you. And if you have red flags about anyone, about their intentions, about their wordage, about their behavior, about, and I know I say a lot, and I'm sorry, but if you have any gut feeling about someone or their actions or wordage, pay very close attention to that, please, because, and don't ever think that you're untouchable. Like I've said many, many times, I've been in the international intel position for about 3 years now, and I've got very top security clearance where that's concerned. And I've made this statement many times. I've got my hands in many cookie jars, for a reason, and I've been trusted by many people for a reason, and I'm not taken lightly in that scene worldwide. And I'm known worldwide by Pocahontas. And people trust me, and I've earned that trust for a reason. And just be very careful, like I said, know the warning signs, know the code signs, know the code words, and keep a very tight, close on that gut feeling you get, if you get it, with anybody within any movement. I don't care if it's 3%, I don't care if it's Patriot Movement, I don't care if it's the Women's Movement, Million Man's March, Oath Keepers, the Jure, on whatever level, in LA, I don't care who they are, okay? I really don't. Militias, I don't care who they say they are or who they come to you as. Pay attention, because now, again, I am going to have to go and mop up some messes, because things have been found out later about people, and I guess that's the best way I can say it, that were considered allies and trusted people that were not trusted people. And that's dangerous, very dangerous. So just know your inner circle. Know your inner circle. If you cannot trust who is beside you, and this is what goes on de facto, day in and day out, just like your partner. If you're in de facto, your partner. If you do not know your partner inside and out, then you got a problem. Okay? If you cannot trust who is going to go on a detail with you and you don't know that person, then you've got a problem. You've got to be able to trust your inner circle, your unit, with your life. And if you cannot trust that person or your unit with your life, then you don't need to be training and being with that unit on a detail or with anything. So you need to know these people. You need to talk with these people. You need to interact with them as much as possible. Not just have a phone call here, a phone call there, or I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Or that's why these phone calls are important. That's why we need to have as many marshals as we can on these phone calls. That's why we need to be interactive with each other and not, just sporadically be on one a month or whatever. No. These need to be mandatory phone calls. We need to interact with each other as much as possible, because now I'm finding that we have rats in our midst. And some of these rats have been in our midst for a couple of years. Okay, so now I'm having to go and mop these rats up. I don't have a problem doing it at all. I have nothing to lose. My days are numbered. I don't have nothing to lose. As y'all all know, whether some of y'all like it or not, I have no fear. The only man I fear is my Creator up above. Okay? That I showed that the other night when we had a live shooting me and my husband were involved in, and he was like, "No, get behind me." I'm like, "No, get the hell behind me."
Press the star key twice.
And I went straight towards the live fire. Okay? I have no fear. The only one that can do anything to me is my Creator takes my soul wherever it needs to go. He knows my heart. Okay, so I'm here to protect the people. I took an oath to protect and serve the people. That's what I do. So if I have a rat in the midst of something that I took a hold of and was given a task to do, which I took a process that was taken 6-7 years ago that went nowhere, and I put a foundation to, put organization and structure to, and put a strong base to, made something of it, which I did, And a lot of y'all have helped me lately even bring that even more to a strong foundation and a strong structure. Okay, I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody come in there and destroy it. I don't care who you are. So anyway, what I'm saying is I don't care if you're A, B, C, D, or E. You're not going to come down and break it down. You can huff and puff and blow all you want to, but it ain't going to happen. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. And with that, I yield.
If I may.
Yes.
Marshal Muriel here on Pennsylvania. Checking in with everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm good, ma'am, and yourself?
I'm getting by.
And I got you in my prayers. You're gonna overcome that. And where do we stand on the non-citizen, non-national process?
You know what? It's going to be easier for me to send you, if you will send me an email. I've got an instruction thing, and it'll be easier for me just to email you an instruction on how to do it. All you have to do is go to the site and download and print out a DS11, and I'll send you an instruction on how to do it. That's the easiest way for me to do it for you.
I have your email as Bella Haywood at Gmail.
Yes, you can either do it there or you can do it at Marshal Haywood at afreecountry.com. And that's the easiest way for me to do it, because if I sit here and try to do it word-wise, step by step, then you're going to be like, huh? So, I have it written down there in the instructions. So the easiest way is for you to email me and me just to send you the instructions, and you do it that way. But on here, I can tell you just to go ahead and go to the Department of State or just Google DS11, download and print out a DS11, email me, and I will send you the instructions on exactly what to do, and boom, you got it.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll touch base with you tomorrow. I'll send you the email, and I don't want to interrupt your schedule. So, what's a good time to reach out to you?
Okay, I got a doctor's appointment at 1:30.
1:30.
So yeah, I got a doctor's appointment at 1:30. So I'll be back here at the house probably around about 4.
All right. I'll touch base with you at 4 p.m. then.
And that's fine.
Okay. Then I yield.
And it's very important that, and I'm going to reiterate this, I don't care how many people have studied 40, 50, 30, 20, 10, 15. It don't matter how many years you study. It doesn't matter how many times somebody has put this process, that process, this process, that process out. Okay? I'm going to be very, very clear with you. Very, very clear with you. You cannot, and I think there's proof enough, you cannot fight the system against the system. You cannot work in common law being a citizen. You cannot, and you cannot be in the system and work in common law. You can't. There's enough people sitting in prison right now that have tried that for 15, 20, 30 years, and they're still sitting in prison. You cannot do it. It won't work. It just won't work. And if you'll notice, when Obama did his final, he did 1,500 of them, but one of his final addresses, he said, and I quote, "It'll be nice to join you private citizens," end quote. Okay? Well, you can look up all these citizens, big C, little c, private, not private, all you want to. But in one of the videos I even posted on my page, it was talking about a guy that actually went in and actually was winning cases in de facto, and he was talking about wordage, and he said the only way you're actually going to win any court cases in a federal court, in a admiralty military court, is by stating you are not a person or this or that, but saying you're private, that you're a private individual. And he said, you can't go in there and say, don't use, you need to mute, please. Not go in there and say, don't use my all capital name, but he said nobody even noticed what he said, but when he addressed the judge or the referee in the court, he actually said, can you change the style, please? And without missing a beat, the judge said, can you change the lettering of the name? And the court clerk said no. Nobody caught that, but it went right straight, smooth, just a smooth flow. As soon as the guy said, can you change the style, please? The judge said, turned around and said, can you change the lettering of the name, or the case letter of the name? And the court said no, or the lawyer said no. So they know what you're talking about. They're not dumb. They know exactly what you're talking about if you use the right wordage. But the point being in that video, and what the guy was trying to educate you on, is your majority of your people, when they go in there as a citizen, when they go into those courts, don't know how to use this wordage. And even if you get it halfway right or a third way right, you're still not going to win those cases because you're walking into the wrong courts and you're walking in as a citizen. So you're not going to win those cases. You're just not. So to work completely under common law in de jure, unless you've got a de jure court of record or a de jure court, which the only known one that we know of right now that I've got on record of knowing is in Fulton County, Georgia. And the reason being is because during the First and Second Continental Congress, when the 13 colonies were established in North America, Georgia was the first one and the last one to sign the Constitution, the organic Constitution, before that was the 13th Amendment, the 1 through 13, before the 14th and all them. This is before the 14th Amendment even existed. Georgia was the first and last state that even signed any of those. So Georgia was the first one that actually had a constitutional court. And they all thought that it was just Lamar County, but come to find out, no, it wasn't just Lamar County. Fulton County actually has a de jure court of records and a de jure court, common law court, and a judge. Nobody knows that. They also have a grand jury. So anyway, and I will be going and making a visit to this court with this diplomat. But with that, I'm going to yield.
If I may?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Marshall, Wilson, California. That was an interesting thing you found out with, is that South Fulton or North Fulton? Because you remember I told you I was living in South Fulton for 5 years.
I couldn't hear you, Wilson. Say that again. You're breaking up.
I said that was interesting what you found out about the court in Fulton County.
Oh, yes. Very, very interesting.
So was that South Fulton or North Fulton County?
North Fulton.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I yield.
Mhm.
If I may.
Yes.
Marshal Mary from Pennsylvania. There's been an interesting discovery here in Pennsylvania as far as Lancaster County and city is concerned. They're doing postings in the courtrooms that no cell phones are allowed in the court premises or in the building.
Right. Well, they've been doing that for a little while, but I think they're probably going to heighten that up a little bit now with some certain things going on recently.
Is that something that they can do?
In their courts, they can pretty much do what they want to do.
In an instance where we have to enter a courtroom, being so that they bring us to court or whatever the case is, do we use that or?
I can't hear you. There's a lot of background noise going on from somewhere.
Yeah, I'm noticing the background too. I said, if the case is where we are brought to court in one of their courtrooms, do we challenge that?
You could challenge that, yeah.
You especially could if it was a court of record, because that's our court. We can do what we want to in it. Now you.
Right.
If I may.
Yes.
Little Deer, Colorado. Hey, I just wanted to find out what is going on with the Lex Suprema website. I'm still not able to log in.
You know what? I really don't know. I haven't talked to Troy about that. I haven't heard from him lately, but the really only thing that's on Lex Suprema at this moment is just a couple that, like I said, some of the we're going to be changing that around anyway. But the only thing that's actually on there is just marshals that are on state, some of the marshals that are in state. Now, we're in the process with Marshal Wilson and his wife and I are putting a website together within the next couple of weeks. So everything that you're going to need is going to be on that website and not on Lex Suprema. That's just pretty much the national database that just shows how many marshals we have in each state. But like I said, even when I went on there to update it, I would update it, hit save, and it would disappear. So I don't know if it's a coding issue or what's going on with that.
Okay. Well, I wanted to order our badges and whatnot.
Okay. Well, if you
where I needed to do that.
Well, if you need to donate, all you have to do, you don't have to really sign in to donate. All you got to do is go to the site, and on the very front page, all you got to do is hit donate. You don't have to sign in to donate. All you got to do is hit the donate button on the front. At the bottom on the front page, at the very bottom, that's all you got to do is do that. And then send me an email and tell me, your name, your state, and give me a copy of your oath. If you haven't had your ID yet, which you don't.
Okay, you already have the copies of our oath. So
I need all your recording numbers, because I'll need all your recording numbers and all that for your ID. And then when I have all that with your full contact information, then I can order your badge.
Okay, I think we sent you the recorded ones.
Send me another email to bump that up and let me look at it, because I'll need your full contact information. And let me know your badge.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. Thank you. I yield.
You're welcome.
If I may?
Yes.
Shouldn't, when we're talking about de facto taking property away from, shouldn't everybody have a fee schedule? A fee schedule made up that if any property is taken, the clock starts ticking on how much they charge for the property to be taken out of their hands? A yield?
I think at one time there was one. I think I posted something on my page the other day about that fee schedule. I'm not really sure. I think Hamilton had one together on his freecountry.com.
If I may.
Yeah, because
Townsend, are you on here?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Didn't Hamilton have a fee thing about that on freecountry.com?
A fee thing? I'm sorry.
A fee schedule about what you could charge if someone were to take property or anything from you?
If I may.
I personally have not seen it. It may be there, to be honest. I'm kind of looking right now to see if I can find it now that I just heard Joe. So I'll look, and if I find it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I will.
Somebody else said, if I may. I don't know who that was.
Yes, this is Dale from New York. I believe that was DL. He was going to send out the fee schedule.
Okay. I know I posted one on my page the other day and made a comment about it. And DL said that I would have to use that and do something with it first on a public notice and then attach it to the copyright. If any of y'all remembered that, I posted it and said something about it, and I said, maybe I need to add that to the copyright, and he said I had to do something publicly with it first, and then I could add it to the copyright as using it as a fee schedule.
Right, I couldn't remember what he said.
I think that's what he said, something about I had to do something with it publicly first, and then attach it to the copyright to add as the fee schedule. He's not on here, so I can't ask him.
That was all I used.
Okay.
Hi, mate.
Yes.
Wanted to get some clarification. Last week I was listening to last week's show, and you were talking about the windshield decals and the plates. And if I remember correctly, you said that the decals there wasn't a charge for, but I had thought that the creator of those was talking $5, but he wanted to have that $5 donated just in his Marshall fund, that he wasn't going to get anything. But do you still pay the $5 for the decal?
Yes, he did change that, and he said that the tags were going to be $25, which he was going to take $10 and keep it in the Marshals Fund. The rest would go back to him for the materials. And the decals he was going to charge $5 for, but he was going to keep that $5 in the Marshals Fund, for the Marshals Fund.
Right, which means he gets none of it, but we still, to purchase the decals, we have to pay $5, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. Okay, thank you.
If I may.
Yes.
What is the email address for the decals and the plates, or contact information on decals and plates?
Okay. He said the best way to do it is to email me to let me know how many decals and how many plates you want. And when you get your donation of how many you wanted into the donation box. The donations are to be sent to the Marshals Fund. Now, if you do not have Facebook, or you are not in the Lex Suprema or if you can't get into Lake Suprema, or like I was telling those earlier, if you cannot sign into Lake Suprema, you don't have to sign into Lake Suprema. If you go to lakesuprema.net and you look on the very front page before you even sign in, and you scroll down to the very bottom, there's the donate button. It takes you directly to the PayPal. And the PayPal is Continental Marshals at gmail.com. That's the account. And as soon as you donate for however many decals and however many tags you want, you email me and tell me how many you got, how many you paid for, which actually it pops up in my email automatically on how many, what your name is and how much money you put in there. But you email me and tell me how many decals you want, how many tags you ordered, and then I send him an email and tell him that so-and-so at such and such address ordered this many decals and this many tags, and then he makes them up, and then he ships them directly to you.
Okay. I got it.
And I do have decals on my car, by the way.
No.
Do you have the tags yet?
I've got I've got a regular marshal tag. He's making my chief marshal's tag.
Oh, sweet, cool. And you said the
If I may.
tags are 25 and the decals are 5, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
If I may,
Yes.
Marshal Haywood, you need to go through the state national process first. Is that it?
Every marshal needs to go through the state national process, period.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to do that first, but I'm just saying every marshal needs to go through the state national process. Every marshal.
Okay, will the marshal's ID coincide with the license plate then? Or the tag, I should say?
Well, that's going to coincide. That's going to coincide with what I do next anyway, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But your state national is probably going to coincide with the tag.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Because I'm going to take that tag up to the tag office and tie all that in.
Okay.
Yeah, James,
Yes.
South Carolina. Does that coincide with the DS-11 form that you had mentioned earlier? I yield.
The DS-11 form is the state national thing that I'm going to send the instructions out on how to fill it out for the state national.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If I may,
Yes.
Marshal Muriel here. So do we get the plates first and then fill out the DS-11?
No, you go ahead and print the DS-11 out now. I mean, you can get the plates anytime you want to. I'm just saying go ahead and do the DS-11 now.
Okay. Got it. I yield.
Mhm.
If I may,
Yes.
Marshal Wilson again. So is there any news about any details or anything going on where maybe we got a lawsuit that came in or coming in to get some money in the Marshals Fund, or anything going on in the Marshals realm, whereas we're not Maytag repairing it for the next couple of months? What do you see coming down the road? I yield.
I'm going to have to wait until I get with my diplomat that I'm going to be seeing in the next week. There is a possibility, yes. But I'm going to have to wait and get with him on some things. And then we'll see. He's got some things that he wants to talk to me about privately and go over some things with me on some different venues. And then, like I said, the letter that I sent off to D.C. and just some other things that are coming up, some other things that are going on. And then once I can finalize some things, we'll see where we can go from there.
What did you find? This is Marshall Wilson still. I guess, can I ask what was found out about the gentleman that was losing his house down in L.A.? I've seen something on that, and I kind of backed away from it. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Crumpler?
I haven't heard anything else about that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I heard some negative things about it, but I haven't heard anything else about it, no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You heard some negative things about it. I backed away because of what you heard. I think you heard yourself. So.
I heard some people that have known that person for many, 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 many years that said stay away. And so when I hear somebody that knows somebody personally for many years, not just one or two, but many years, say stay away, then I usually heed their advice and stay away. Just saying.
That's a good heads up because that's exactly what I did. I yield.
Yes.
If I may?
Yes.
Did you hear anything more you talked about before about somebody approaching you doing like concerts and stadiums around the country? Have you heard anything more on that?
No, I have not heard anything else about that. I haven't heard anything about that at all. Now, I did hear something that, and I think the Marshals should be involved with this. I don't know if any of y'all or if some of y'all have heard of MSA, which is a American, it's not a patriot group, but it's a American group for We the People that are going to be doing an American We the People march against the liberals and Democrats, I guess you could say, in April. And I really think the Marshals should be involved with this.
If I may?
Yes.
I was hearing Trump, and they was talking about the Dakota pipeline. I want to know if anybody have any information to what that would do to the protesting thing that's going on in the North Dakota for the pipeline.
Well, I'm going to put it this way. When they first decided to do that pipeline, the very first easement permit they had was going through a white neighborhood. And the white people stood up and did it properly and went to court and said, no, we don't want that through our property. So the government said, okay. So they put it through the native property, which is actually not all the way through the native property, and it does not go completely at the lake. And so the natives had a chance to go, and I'm native, by the way, so the natives had a chance to go to court and never showed up. So the chiefs of those tribes actually sold the easement. And per tribe law and per treaty, you have to have a 3/4 membership of the tribe give the chief the okay to do so, which they didn't do, and the chief did it anyway. Now, they had a second time to go to court and still did not go to court. So, now I did send my own suggestion to the White House that if they're going to go ahead with the pipeline, then they should go with the first easement and permit that was legal, because the second one was not. That they should go with the first easement and permit that was to go through the white neighborhood, because the second easement and permit were not legally binding in a federal court of federal court. So I guess we'll see in a couple of days or a couple of weeks or whatever, however long it takes, through Congress or court or whatever, how that happens. But you have to stop and think. Everyone that's out there protesting with the Native Americans, and like I said again, I am Native, but everyone that has been out there protesting have been liberals and Democrats that have been backing them. Every Native chief that has been out there protesting backs Hillary. Literally. Money and by votes. So, that's all I'm going to weigh in on that. And I yield.
Thank you. If I may.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd also heard that what he has allowed to go through has stipulations in it. They're supposed to change the route, go over property, not under it, and kind of basically go around the area of dispute. I haven't vetted that, but that's what I was under the impression of.
Yep. The piping was supposed to be environmental. They changed everything to where that it was safe and environmental. It wasn't going under the land. It was going over it. The piping was totally different. Everything. So a lot of this protest was propaganda. It was backed by liberals and Democrats, the mainstream media, via the liberals and Democrats held it in a totally different light. Some of the people that actually went to the protest came back, literally, and said, y'all are not being told the truth. So with that, I'm going to let that go.
If I may.
Yes.
This is Lucas Allen of the House of Wronghold. I'm from Janesville, Wisconsin currently. I'm friends with Marshal Kim. I don't know. It's really confusing, everything that's going on there. But I agree with what you're saying, that there was a media drive to push the blocking of it. But what can we do about the executive order that he just issued? Because I don't really feel like it has the authority that everybody else thinks it does.
What do you mean?
I mean that he's circumventing the process that they're supposed to legally follow, where Congress and the Senate are involved, by issuing an executive order ignorantly that he doesn't actually have the authority to push for them to continue the construction of the DLAP. And I've also just recently read that something...
No, they actually had that executive order for years now. What happened was Obama didn't have the legal authority to stop it.
I see.
That executive order and that plan, that easement and that permit has been in place for the past couple of years. The chiefs of the tribes even gave them permission and signed their rights away and sold the land to them. Obama didn't have the executive legal right to even stop it.
Right. I see.
Yep. The chiefs of the tribes sold them that land. They signed it away.
I read something about that myself.
Yep, they did.
I have a hard time.
The only reason that Obama did that was to save face in his last days.
Right.
To try to say that he stopped it. And then when the veterans went there, they tried, which was false because we've been under soft martial law since the 30s, and they tried to bring up the Lieber Code, which is also false because in the war manual, you can't even bring the Lieber Code up because we're still under martial law since the 30s.
Right.
And they weren't doing anything to even bring the Lieber Code up. All they did was halt something for just a time to make it look good for the media and for the public.
Right.
Because Obama went against an executive order and a lawful permit and easement that had already been signed away by the tribal leaders 2 years ago. Then they called for the UN to come out there, which they did.
Of course.
The UN was there on the property and got involved via the Native Americans calling the UN out there. That's why it halted.
So we're trying to save face for the world
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Makes sense.
So actually, Trump is not doing anything against him, and I'm not taking sides here, but he's not doing anything against. He's just saying no. Obama went against the law. Now I'm fixing to undo what he did.
Right.
Because the tribal leaders and the chiefs had already signed that away.
Right. And now they're acting like they didn't.
Exactly. There wasn't the liberals and the Democrats that had went down there, which is Bernie Sanders,
Sure.
you know, all the liberal Hollywood that went down there making the big fuss. Because when some of the actual people went down there and came back, one lady even went down there and turned right around and came back and said, oh, no, no, no. She said, when I went down there and saw what was actually going on, she said, I left.
May I?
Yes.
Hey, baby. I found out what you wanted me to find out today, and it is confirmed. The FBI did do that. They did go in there.
The FBI just confirmed inside source. FBI did raid the CDC at 3 a.m. this morning. So is that verification why the FBI helicopters and the planes with the tanks came into the Air Force Base in Marietta today? Was that the reason for them being there?
I don't know about that yet, but I know that the jumbo planes that flew in today, there was 4 of them back to back, and these planes they hold tanks. I don't know what they were holding, but these planes were designed to hold tanks, several tanks, and they were flying today and landing. And I saw it for myself because I was actually down there where the FBI was located around the that they went in, and they were still there today. I saw it for myself. So it did happen. I'm not going to mention who told me, but a very powerful man that I know, that I'm friends with, gave me insight on it, and it is true. It's very true.
That just confirms that, and that's probably what they were there for, man, because that's a big deal. And I did notice, and I posted today, there were no chemtrails in the sky today at all. So that would confirm why they're here. But that is a confirmation that Trump did go in to confiscate and shut down the CDC in Atlanta. The FBI did go in and do that this morning at 3 a.m. And there were no chemtrails in the sky over me near the FAA today in Georgia. So that is why the military presence is here, is because of that shutdown at the CDC.
I think they came and dumped it all in Texas because it was everywhere today in Texas. So I think they went to hide it and they just dumped it over Texas. So
well, it wasn't here.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see any today. I was all through the city of Atlanta working.
Yeah, it wasn't here. It wasn't in Georgia. They were making sure it wasn't in Georgia.
I know that around the CDC, they had several entrances blocked off where you couldn't get in or out. So it was pretty intense from what I could see.
Somebody's calling. I'll be right with you, folks.
If you're not talking, please mute your phone because we got a lot of background noise. And if you're an ABC organization on here, welcome to the call. We do nothing unlawful or illegal on this call. We talk the truth and only the truth. Glad you're here. Maybe you'll learn something. Go ahead.
But yeah, they had a couple of the roads blocked off, a couple of the entrances. You know, they weren't really trying to hide it, but they weren't really trying to make a scene either. It was kind of low key from what I could tell. I sat there for a while and I was, you know, I was wanting to know what the hell was going on, and I kind of put together what we were talking about, and then I brought it to someone's attention, and they pulled me to the side a couple hours later and said, yeah, it took place. So, and that's that.
If I may?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that story a couple of days ago. I guess they're saying that the reason why Donald Trump is going after them is because they believe, I don't know if it's true or not, but they think that his son did the vaccination and
that's true. That is true. His son got a flu shot, and a couple months after that, he was diagnosed with autism. That is true.
Yeah. And then he has more information that they knowingly and willingly are doing that to we the people. But
well, actually, I went to POTUS myself and posted Truth, and his news, Trump News, actually reposted one of the things that I did on the CDC and vaccines. 8 hours later, the CDC was being busted. Just saying.
You say you're
Illinois joining in.
It's wonders, remember?
Do I?
May I?
We got a lot of background noise somewhere. I can't tell where. If anybody's doing the board, I can't tell where.
May I ask James, what are they spraying by chance?
Well, if you look it up on YouTube, they'll tell you exactly what they're spraying.
All right, thank you.
All metals. They're all metals.
Arsenic, barium, aluminum, even what's the mind altering drug? Lithium. Huh. Many things and all and
I thought they mentioned some mercury in there too.
Yeah, it does have mercury in there.
But most of them are lethal.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are you?
Yeah. There was actually a pilot. I actually posted this on Twitter, and no lie, there was a doctor, a scientist, and others that came forth and actually said that the vaccines and the chemtrails it was a pilot, a doctor, and a scientist told the truth about the chemtrails and what was in it from geoengineering chemtrails. And I posted that on Twitter and tagged POTUS in that, actually. But like I said, his side news people, Trump News follows everything that I post, and they'll retweet it or they'll send it straight to him. Guess that's why I got helicopters flying over my house, huh?
Yep. All right, babe, I'm getting off. Goodbye, guys. Take care.
If I may, this is Lucas.
Yes.
Is there anything that is actually being done as far as POTUS's claims to shutting down the Federal Reserve?
Yes, he's doing that too. I think within the next week or two, he is setting an order to shut down the Federal Reserve and go to gold back, or gold coins or gold something.
That would be fantastic. I think it would fix the inflation issue.
Yep, he's going after that too, actually.
I hope he does. I didn't believe him at first because the whole thing with Hillary not being in prison, but give him a chance.
Well, she's actually Trey Gowdy and the dark-headed guy that's always seen with him.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. He was actually at the inauguration when he shook hands with her. He actually, and this is a fact, a reporter actually heard it, but he told her, he said, it ain't over. But, and that's an inside tip. I did get this. That was a fact that happened. That's confirmation. When he shook hands with her, when she went to leave after the inauguration, whenever I was leaving, he shook hands with her. He said, it ain't over. But they are going after her. I have already been indicted. They are going to trial. Her husband, Bill, is actually testifying against her, and so are some of her aides that were in working for her. But so they are going after her. They're also going after the Clinton Foundation and the Global Initiative thing. So they are going after them. But he is going to testify thinking that he's going to get a plea deal and walk. But he's dying of AIDS, so I don't see how he's going to walk long. It's okay.
Right.
What about George Soros?
They've got he's got a bounty out on him. He's actually been banned from 4 different countries, and I think Trump, Putin, and some other ones are already going to put a bounty out on him.
Yeah, I saw today that they had a news article where wherever he's at, it's somewhere in Europe, but they said they're going after him. The people there are going after him.
Yep, so, they are.
I yield.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, this is Noel on Maryland. I have been working with Marshal Haywood, Chief Marshal Haywood, on a comms plan, developing a comms plan for us, as had been discussed, I think, last week or a week prior. And I'm looking for a couple of marshals. Doesn't matter where you are, but it doesn't matter if you have any knowledge or not, but to help kind of develop out this program and training program and protocol, and do some testing over the coming weeks to help us kind of pull this together and test it out, and then roll it out to everyone as far as training goes and just standardization of things. So again, you don't have to have even any equipment right now or any prior knowledge, but if you're interested in helping us out with that, if you could just forward your information to Marshal Haywood, and then she can forward it to me, and we'll get together and get in direct contact. Thanks. I yield.
No. How many has ham radios that are on this call?
Marshal Schubert, I do.
Marshal
Westwood, I do.
Okay, Westwood, you're in Moore, you're in Colorado. Westwood, you're in Texas, correct? Who else in Texas has one?
I will be ordering mine this payday, so but I do not have them as of yet, and it's Marshall Townsend. I yield.
Okay, so when's your next payday? I'm not being nosy, I'm just asking.
No, it doesn't matter. On the 1st.
Okay, Moore, I know you're pretty much the only one in Colorado right now, so Townsend, as soon as you get yours, because that'll be perfect, will you and Westwood get together and get with Noel so that y'all can do the first test round, since y'all are both in Texas? Will y'all get with Noel, take down his email, and get with him so y'all can do the first test round with the hams, and then me and Schubert will do Georgia, because I've got a ham, he's got a ham. We'll do the Georgia test round, y'all can do the Texas test round, and then we'll need 2 people from another state to do a test round in another state.
I'm sure we can find 2 people from Colorado. There's quite a few there. And sure, I don't have a problem. As soon as I get mine in, I will get with Marshal Westwood, and we will get with y'all, and we'll get it all taken care of.
Okay, good. Marshal Moore, who do you have around you in Colorado? We're fixing to lose a marshal in Colorado, but who do you have in Colorado that you could buddy up with so we can get this ham going?
I've got one gentleman here that's going to be sending paperwork to you. That's really close. I'm not sure if Jeremy down at Castilla County's got one, but I can talk with Jeremy. Maybe he can grab one.
Yeah. Talk. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Talk with Jeremy.
Also in Colorado?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, but we need Marshall. Yeah, but we need a Marshal.
I understand. I was just talking about testing the radios, but okay. Now you.
Yeah. We need to do the Marshals first, and then we'll set up the Marshals with the judges. But we need to do the Marshals first. Yeah, Marshal Moore, get with Jeremy. Since he's not on here tonight, I'm going to get on to him. But get with Jeremy and ask him if I think he does have a ham, as a matter of fact. Hit him up and see if because I think he does. But hit him up and see if he's got a ham, and then we'll get with Noel so that way we've got 3 states going, Noel, if you don't mind. We'll have Georgia. We got a buddy system in Georgia, a buddy system in Texas, and a buddy system in Colorado going maybe next week, have a class. That'll be the first. The end of next week, maybe getting together and having a class for those 3 states.
Yeah, that would actually be great. And if everyone, just because I am not on a free country yet, email-wise, and I don't want to give out personal information on recorded calls.
I'll send it to them.
Yeah, if you can coordinate that, that'd be awesome. And yeah, next week will work, and just to start coordinating things, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, let me see. I'm writing it down right now. So we got Westwood, we got Townsend, we got Moore, we got Jeremy, we got Steve. With Ian would be that. Hold on. Jeremy.
And Marshal Haywood, I'm gonna create a Gmail account in the meantime just for this, so I'll forward that information to you this evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, that's good. That way we got a buddy system in Texas, we got a buddy system in Colorado, we got a buddy system in Georgia. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives you 6 people, but that gives you 3 states that we can do a test run on for the Marshals for right now, and then we'll see how that goes. And then, like I said, we can set up something after we do the Marshals. We can add in maybe a judge for those 3 states, and we'll have a judge to marshal, judge to marshal, judge to marshal in each of those 3 states afterwards. That way we'll have it set up to where we'll have the marshal to marshal, and then we can have the marshal to a judge.
Roger that. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Are there any in Wisconsin currently?
I don't know. Do we have any Wisconsins that are on the call that have hands? I'm not really seeing that many Wisconsin people on right now, and of course Illinois ain't never on. So, let's see. I've got California, New York. Where's Cote at? I know he ain't got one yet. I don't think.
Here I am.
Cote, you on?
Yes, ma'am.
You got a ham?
No, I don't, but I can get one real quick.
You got another New Yorker there that's got a ham yet, or no?
I was just checking text message Dale to see if he had one. And maybe, I don't know, we can check with Walker. He's on too tonight.
This is
I
Dale.
have one, but I don't have one right now.
Okay, can you get one within the next 2 weeks?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you, sir. And that's Walker, right?
Yep.
Cote and Walker. Okay, no, there's another one that's New York.
This
you
is
got
Dale.
Cote and Walker in New York.
It shouldn't take me too long to get a ham, but I can get a ham.
Okay, we have any, hold on one second, please. We don't have any Wisconsin zone tonight. Let's see, Florida Marshals. Do we have any Florida Marshals with ham radios?
Not at the present time.
Okay, can you get ham radios within 2 weeks?
I will see what I can do to accomplish that. I'd like to talk to someone that already has one, so I can find out the wattage that they recommend, so we don't have a shortage.
Well, we'll be going through all that in the class. But like I said, and you look on the Marshall Facebook page to where we're getting them from Amazon and look that up. They're not that expensive. So we'll be going through that class in about 2 weeks. If you can get 2 Marshals in Florida, get that up, and you can get with me and tell me who has them.
All right, I'll talk with my team in the morning.
Yes, thank you. Nevada, do we have more than just Vincent in Nevada?
Yeah, 10-4. We've got. I can have 10 people within 2 weeks. We can all have ham radio.
I just need 2 for right now.
Myself, we'll have 2 within 2 weeks.
Okay, Vincent, who else?
Either Perla or Marina.
Just give me a good one.
Judge Marina. Marina.
No, I need a marshal. I need a marshal. Not a judge. I want a marshal.
Yeah, Bob Edwards.
Edwards.
Yep, Bob Edwards.
Okay.
Robert Edwards.
Okay, we got Edwards and Vincent in Nevada. Okay, now we got Nevada, New York, Texas, Colorado, and Georgia. And we're looking for Florida. We'll maybe have that before in 2 weeks. No, I hope you're listening because we're getting it going. Okay, Utah. We got people in Utah here. Marshals on Utah.
I don't have a ham radio.
Okay.
I'll talk to Marshal Hanson
in Utah?
Recommend that they get one.
May I, South Carolina?
Hold on one second. Hansons, can y'all get Dolly and Doc? Can y'all get 2 hams in 2 weeks?
This is Benson. I'll talk to them if they're not on.
Well, we'll look into it.
They're under $30 at Amazon.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the first thing about it.
I think it's like $48 for a set of 2.
Yeah, you can get $48 for a set of 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the name? What's
It's like $48 for 2 of them.
So what's the name of them?
Ma'am?
Do you need 2 to have it work?
Yeah.
Or?
Well, no. I mean, y'all both need 2. That's what we're doing. We're doing buddy teams. Everybody's going to need one eventually anyway. So with y'all being a couple, and if I'm using y'all both for Utah, that's why I'm saying it'd be better off just go ahead and get 2. Every marshal's going to need one anyway.
Oh, okay.
May I?
That's good. Besides the equipment, what do you need?
Go ahead.
May I?
James in South Carolina. What's the name of that?
Bofing.
Spell it.
Hold on.
It's B-A-O, B as in boy, A as in apple, O as in Oscar, F as in Frank, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, G as in George.
Thank you. And they're only, so they're only $20 to $30 on Amazon. Is that correct?
Yeah. You specifically, the best bet is the model U as in uniform, V as in Victor, 5, R as in Robert. There are a number of different variations, but that's the basic model.
But okay, the last 4 letters were U, umbrella, and I think
V as in Victor, umbrella, Victor, number 5, R as in Robert.
Thank you. I can pick one of those up in South Carolina in about 2 weeks. I yield.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you need besides the equipment to operate them?
Mute off.
May I answer that, Marshal Haywood?
Say again?
May I answer that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. If first off, if everyone who's interested gets Marshal Haywood an email, she can forward that to me. I'll set up an email account just for this. There's a whole bunch of training involved as far as equipment that you personally need. You really can just start with the Baofeng UV5R. It doesn't have a very long range, but we're working on establishing networking with local ham clubs. This will all be detailed. I don't want to take up everyone's time tonight. It's a little bit involved. It really only requires an investment of about $30 or so for the basic handheld walkie-talkie Baofeng UV5R, and then we'll be looking to interface with local ham clubs who have the big equipment and developing relationships with them, and then they interface from state to state to pass along messages, so that we'll be developing those protocols as we go. It's important just to start right with the basic handheld, one handheld talking to another handheld, so that's why Marshal Haywood's setting you guys up as teams. And then once there's an understanding of how that works, and there's a little bit to it, but we'll go through it all, then we'll expand out regionally and nationally to be able to communicate with each other. Most importantly, in a situation where there's grid down and we can't get to each other on cell phone or other more traditional types of communication platforms. I yield.
Hi, this is Craig Rawson in Illinois. I'd like to get in touch with you about that. I'll give you my email address. It's Craig.
Craig, if you could just forward an email to Marshal Haywood, then she'll coordinate all those and forward them off.
All right. She may already have my email address. I'll contact her then.
Great.
Thank you.
If I may.
Yes.
Just kind of a heads up. I've spent the past maybe 6.5 hours over the past 2 days trying to clone program data onto a Baofeng 5R via cable so that you don't have to manually input. And it's no longer supported. If you go out onto the Baofeng's website, the 5R is an old platform. And if you want to be able to use cables to clone,
You've been muted.
in other words, where we can all program the same just easily by circulating an Excel file and uploading it through software. None of that's supported anymore, and it's not even programmable. The only way to function with a 5R is to manually do it, which goes through a huge learning curve. And if you don't know anything about ham radios and frequencies and repeaters and radio stations and all that stuff, it becomes a very huge task to do. Cloning is the simplest way to go. So I would just throw caution to the wind. Although they are cheap because they're outdated, that's why you're only paying $30-some for those radios. I would suggest at least a UV8 or so, and that just based upon my experience in the past several days trying to sync up 3 UV8s with 2 UV5Rs, 5RTs to be specific, because there's a range of them in there. But the 5RTs, we thought we were getting a deal on them, and it wasn't such a good deal because we can't clone. There's 128 programmable channels on there, and we're trying to set up repeaters up and down the East Coast on Florida, and we were just not able to clone all the data, and to manually program into that many channels, it was a huge task. And so maybe to get started and be as a learning curve, maybe, or to, if you're going to be manually programming them. But as a long run, I wouldn't recommend 5R at all. It's not even supported on Baofeng's website anymore. Matter of fact, if you click on it to get there, they tell you that the only way that you might be able to get it to be able to be cloned via a USB cable is if you flash the firmware that's on it but then that's a risk. You run the risk that if the firmware flash fails, you lose the radio itself. So I would just throw caution into the wind about buying the 5Rs. And I don't want the gentleman who recommended it. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't know if you're aware of that. I'm just kind of throwing that out to you, Paul. I yield. Thank you.
If you're having a problem with your setup, I don't know if you. There's actually a friend of mine, and I'm trying to look him up right now. But he is a expert, I could say, on this. I'm trying to find him right now. But I will get with him, and if you have an email, if you will email me, I can pretty much guarantee you, I don't care what kind of ham radio you got, he can tell you how to program it.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Yeah, if you will email me at marshallhaywood@freecountry.com, I can guarantee you, and he lives right here near me, he programmed mine, and he said that anytime I need it reprogrammed, he would come and reprogram it. And he's got any little gadgets you can think of, he's got it. But, yeah, if you've got an issue with any type, even the type we're talking about, this man is a genius when it comes to ham radios, and he's taken every course, including the above advanced, on programming ham radios.
Excellent, thank you. Email again was Marshall Haywood at?
It's Marshall Haywood, HAYWOOD, at afreecountry.com.
Thank you.
May I, James again?
Yes.
So are we still going forward with the 5Rs?
Yes.
Thank you.
May I?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Noel on Maryland again. Yeah, the UV5R has been around forever, and there are a number of different incarnations of it. There is the Chinese Radio Documentation Project for the Baofeng UV5R, which gives a very extensive explanation of how the radio works. And there is also CHIRP, CHIRP. It's an acronym. Also
That's
for
what
the
he uses, CHIRP. Yep.
Yeah, CHIRP, and that will allow you to program via software. Like when I programmed mine, I bought 10 for my family and friends who all got their GMRS licenses, and we can interface with local ham networks. And all of that was programmed actually from the Baofeng site, because the CHIRP wouldn't support the particular model that I had, but I went to Baofeng. I did have to use it on an older computer system. I couldn't use it on I have 8.1 operating system Windows, so it wouldn't work on that, but so I used an old laptop that I had for that. But CHIRP will also work as well. That's pretty widely used. So it is an older radio for sure. It is still supported. You just have to kind of poke around a little bit to get the right software to do that, and that's certainly something that we will be covering as we develop this out. All right, but there are always other alternatives. I know for sure I have cloning cables as well. I'm no expert at this, but I know firsthand you cannot necessarily clone from a UV8 to a UV5. You can go from UV5 to UV5. There may be some limitations that I'm not aware of, but again, I'm not an expert, but I know the software does work. You just have to get the right versions. Thank you. I yield.
Yeah, that's what he used with mine, was CHIRP, and then he also has a CD and some other software where he can actually go through digital through the computers and set up through the satellites and being off satellite towers that way as well. So like I said, if we ever run into any type of issue that where we get stuck or whatever, we also have a backup there as well. So I don't see a problem there.
If I may, Lucas in Wisconsin here.
Yes.
I'm very interested in all this, but I'm a novice, and
Marshal Kim in Colorado has been assisting me and giving me information on how to do my UCC filings and everything of that nature. How do I get to the level of becoming a marshal and assisting you guys here in southern Wisconsin?
Okay, well, number one, I don't agree with the UCC filings. I'll go ahead and say that up front, because when you work in common law, you don't want to work within their system, and UCC codes and statutes and UCC filings are working in their system. And I will gladly help you where the marshals are concerned, because I am the senior chief marshal for the marshals. So if you will email me at Marshal Haywood, Haywood, at afreecountry.com. I will give you every bit of information you need about who we are, what we do. I give out everything about common law, about
I'm very excited.
About the Jure, about the marshals, our handbook. I tell you who we are, what we are not. We are not sovereign citizens. We are not citizens. We are in the process of correcting our status, being non-citizen state national. We work in common law. We work in a court of records. We do not work in the system. We do not use UCC and codes and statutes, because that is the system that is de facto. That is what is causing people to get imprisoned. So with that being said, I look forward to your email.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I really want to say I appreciate what you guys are doing, because I've been told I'm nuts for so long. And I read the history, I've self-studied, and I'm kind of alone here in Wisconsin. So it's very nice to know that you guys are actually trying to do something to change the way things are, and I appreciate it.
Oh, yes. We've actually got a lot of people in Wisconsin. We have a grand jury and an assembly there in Wisconsin, and don't have a problem in setting you up with them as well. So, like I said, email me, and I will get you all the information.
You've been muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
And then I will set you up with our lovely assembly in Wisconsin.
Excellent, excellent. Because they're attacking me right now because I'm a PCW, and I do personal care work for people, and I have a situation where they've allowed a woman to pretend to be power of attorney over a client I used to have, file blasphemous claims against my good name. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I really care about people. It's part of the reason that I've been interested in this side of things, because they're coming at me hard. They've gone after my girlfriend. They've tried to get her fired, and the police killed me on September 17th for walking home inebriated, like a responsible individual. Somebody tried to mug me, and someone called 911. They came and smashed my face on the pavement, injected me with 500 milligrams of ketamine, and I woke up in the hospital intubated, and everything in between that they could do to generate money off of my name. So I could use a lot of help in that situation as well, because I'm about at the point where I have to take a plea deal to get out of it, because I have a public pretender, and she's not really doing her job.
Well, honey, we have a wonderful Continental Superior Court justice in Wisconsin, and we have a wonderful marshals in Wisconsin, and then of course I'm the chief national marshal. So you've got a lot of good backup. So like I said, email me, and then I will get you in contact with those Wisconsin assembly members, and you will have good backup.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And Marshal Haywood, if he needs any help, advice in the court system, he can contact me as well.
Yep, you can also take this information down, and you go right ahead and give it to him right now, so that Justice Nick can get on that right now.
Yes,
you got it. What I will do is I will email you information on how to use a court record, what is a court record, things of that nature, and mail you some court papers and get you started, okay?
Thank you.
And my name, you can email me at Randy, Randy, T as in Tom, at freecountry.com.
Excellent. Thank you so
much.
much.
But see, like I said, this is the whole thing. When you use UCCs and use this, you use that, this is where people have gone wrong.
You become bound.
You've got to be, when you use a court of records, You cannot be a citizen, and you cannot be using a court against itself. You cannot use a system against the system. It's not going to work. You're going to have to be in your own court of records and not be a citizen in order for any of this to work. Period.
Right.
Period.
I have a vague understanding of what you're saying, and it makes sense to me, so I get it.
Wait till you get these email from me. You will way understand.
Yeah, excellent. I'm excited. I will shoot you an email.
We're here to help each other.
If I may?
Yes.
Hi, this is Justice Mickey, and I just want to say to our caller, I'm on the board tonight, and I do have your number if you'd like me to give you a call. I'm on Wisconsin.
Excellent. Thank you. I would greatly appreciate it.
All righty, I will do that. I'll make sure to give you a call. And my husband is one of the marshals here in Wisconsin.
Oh, thanks, sweet Jesus. Thank you so much.
Yep. I'll be giving you.
They're destroying me. They're destroying me over here, and I've tried to be reasonable and explain the situation. The woman actually had a permanent restraining order against my client while she pretended to have power of attorney over him in the police report that got me arrested. So I can't believe that they don't recognize what's happening as, reasonable individuals with educated backgrounds, but they don't. And they've done nothing but try to ruin my life.
Extort money from you.
That's what they're doing. They got me for $789 for resisting arrest and disorderly conduct because I was telling them to release me and refusing medical treatment.
Yeah, well,
for a small scrape on my forehead.
Right. Well, get with Justice Mickey. She's awesome at what we do, and get with her. And if you have any questions, you email me and get with me, or you can go ahead and I'll email you the stuff I have. But get with Justice Mickey. She works at it. All right. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
If I may.
Yes.
It's Marshal Benson. Hey, Mickey, Judge Mickey, I'm going to get you over a phenomenal jurisdictional challenge that over time has really evolved into an incredible document. I feel that a jurisdictional challenge is the very, very starting point. Then you move into a court of record, and in the court of record, it actually says jurisdiction has been challenged. This jurisdictional challenge is amazing. A lot of people, Hamilton has contributed to it. Is amazing. The guy in California contributed to it. It's an amazing document because it's actually saying, look, you're a corporation. Here's your Dun and Bradstreet number. Here's your Manta.com showing that you're a corporation. That's an exhibit. It's saying, look, the state of is a corporation. The police are a corporation. The court is a corporation. So you're going to actually get the Dun and Bradstreet numbers, the Manta.com information, and throw that in your jurisdictional challenge. Say, look, and in California, I need you to look at your Constitution. Go to the Wisconsin Constitution. Go into the judicial section and see if it says this. I don't know. Nevada doesn't. California says that if you are a judge in if you have a bar card, you cannot be a judge in a court of record. It also says that all courts in California are a court of record, and Townsend will get you the information that will explain the court of record when it specifically says a court of record goes by the Constitution. So, Judge Mickey, I'm going to get that over to you if you'll forward that to the guy. And you get one over to Townsend. It's an amazing jurisdictional challenge. I've actually won cases with that jurisdictional challenge alone. Before we had the court of record, I was kicking their butt with just this document. With that, I yield.
Thank you much.
Fantastic.
I yield.
You have been muted. To unmute yourself, press the star key twice.
Marshal Muriel, Pennsylvania. Marshal, I want to thank you for the information that you forwarded to my email. It's been great. I would just wanted to thank you for the information.
Yeah, absolutely. Email me again. I'll get you this new version of the jurisdictional challenge. I actually had a guy in California use it for the first time in with this new version, and the judge completely ignored all of it. That is treason. This document will say once jurisdiction is challenged, the plaintiff must prove it on the record. There's another Supreme Court decision that says if the judge moves the case forward and does not have jurisdiction, that is treason. Anyways, yeah, my pleasure. Shoot me another email. I'll get you this, or get it from Judge Mickey or Townsend. They'll all have it. I yield.
Yes, sir. Certainly will do that. Thank you again, Marshal Lindsay. I yield.
May I? Well, under that jurisdictional challenge, upon having two marshals in a court room to witness that jurisdictional challenge go down, how are we going to, and when will we be able to enforce that challenge and hold that judge responsible? Or do we have to go hold the chief judge responsible and charge him with the treason? We have to go one judge or the other.
No, what you do is after the judge commits treason, you then turn around and file a countersuit against him. Okay. And he then cannot hold that court because he now is in a suit of his own, which means he can't rule without being in a conflict of interest. So he must move to some other court. And when you challenge that court, he's going to know why you challenge it, why the other judge is there. So he's not going to want to challenge anything. He's going to want to go by the book because...
But what I want to do is to make sure that nobody receives any repercussion. Are we going to challenge it under the common law grand jury, or are we going to challenge it under the Marshal Service?
No, we challenge it under the court of record.
Okay.
And in that court of record, it states that once jurisdiction is challenged, it cannot be assumed. He can't say he has it. He must prove it in writing.
Okay.
And we do that in our paperwork. And so when he gets it, they have it all. I mean, like I tell people, our paperwork is so clear, 3-year-olds, 3rd graders could read it and tell you exactly what it says.
But are they going to, or are they willing to respect it at this point? And
No, they don't. I'm going to tell you right now, the first time, I'm going to tell you how the court case goes real quick because this is the Marshal's call. We're going to file a lawsuit against them, anybody that trespasses on our rights. As soon as they get that lawsuit against you, that judge that gets it is going to dismiss it. Why? Because he wants to know if you know what the hell you're talking about. As soon as he dismisses it, we do a writ of error. We correct him. We put him in his place, tell him, look, you don't have judicial power. You have ministerial duties only in a court of record. If you step outside your boundaries, you will be committing treason. And all of these, we do a notice of felonies. And not only do we send it to the court, but we send it to the Pentagon to make sure that if they don't take action, the military could then step in and do so because they're using the military code. So then we turn around and I have yet to have a judge stand up and say that isn't correct. Once we do the writ of error, that judge sits back and goes, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. And then we go on with our court case. And we've never lost one.
I appreciate it. And I'd like to be able to get with you offline because I don't want to tie the call up. Is it possible?
Sure, not a problem. You can email me, sir, at Randy.
I'm just landing at the airport. I can't write it down. Let me give you my number, please.
Okay, go ahead, and I will write it right down. Go ahead.
Thank you. 561-629-0697.
0697. Got it. I will send you a text message as soon as we get off this phone call.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
If I may. One more very good, phenomenal, excellent piece of information. Guys, write this one down. Army Manual of Court Marshals AR-840 says all flags with a gold trim on it are military flags flown in a military court. If you'll notice, all of these courts have a gold trim on the flag. That cannot possibly be a court of record Another thing you're doing in this jurisdictional challenge is demanding a trial in a constitutionally compliant court of record. The gig is up. We're on to them. They are esquires working for a corporation, the Bar Association, working for a corporation, the state of, working for a corporation, the United States. It's not about justice. It's about money. They're creating bonds. They're hitting our bonds, and it's not about using statutes and codes against us. Statutes and codes are for them. Statutes and codes are for government employees only. Rodriguez versus Donovan. I yield.
If I may.
Yes.
Randy T. Marshal Randy T.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Hey, it's Marshal Walker. Hey, I talked to you and you sent me a couple of emails on that court of record. I just sent in my error into my court. But as I was looking at your cases, at the end when you were all done, did you? And I seen some. I believe that was you. Did you? You did like a lien on it with your case?
Yes, I put liens on all their property after I won the judgment. Yes, I did.
Okay. And what's the outcome on that? Is that successful or?
No. That's like people say. Did you win your case? Yes. Have you collected? How much money have you won? Nothing, because they're not going to pay until they try to sell property.
Can you foreclose on them, though?
Yes, we actually can, and once we get everybody kind of going, we've got so many cases going on at one time that we're helping with that we've kind of slacked off of collecting the money is what's really happened, and because we're so swamped.
It's more of a threat to get them back in line anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And so my biggest thing was, like I told everybody, I have never been out to try to get money. Not once was it my goal to go, hey, I'm going to get rich off this. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to make the police, all the sheriffs, the judges, the clerks, just obey the damn law as it was written. That's it. Nothing else. I'm not asking for special treatment. I said I want what's to be free, just as I want the street sweeper to be free. I want us all to be free. And that's my point. I don't care if I get a dime out of it. I want to do God's work and do what's true and right, no matter what. Period.
Amen.
So, like I said, no, I have not gotten a dime out of it. I'm a broke son of a bitch, to be honest with you. But it's okay, because I know what I'm doing is right.
God bless you.
And I yield. Okay, guys, you got any more questions or comments for the marshals?
If I may?
Yes.
Back to lawful status. Is there a difference between state national status and foreign national status?
Yes, there is.
Can you expand on that briefly?
Well, foreign national, you're foreign to your roots, to your birth. When you're born as an American, you're born on the land, and that's what we are. The Jure, you're on the land. Okay, common law is land. That's land jurisdiction. A Continental Marshal, a Continental Jure justice is an international position for the United States, lower United States, like meaning lowercase United States, but your land jurisdiction. You're not of the sea. When you were born and they took you as a ward of the state, that made you, in talking in the lingo of the wordage, all caps. Okay, and they made you the ward of they made you the ward of the state, and they made you of the sea. Okay, so when you say foreign national, that makes you not of this country.
Okay, so when you're a state national, that means you're giving your allegiance to your state that you were born on the land of.
So if you were born on the land, you can of the states, you could not be a foreign national, even if you wanted to.
No.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Because you were born, see, I was born on Georgia. I was born on the land on Georgia. So that means I swear my allegiance to my state of Georgia because I was born on the land of Georgia as a living baby. I was born on Georgia. So I'm swearing my allegiance as a state national to Georgia because I was born on this land. I wasn't born in Africa. I wasn't born in the UK. I wasn't born in Puerto Rico. I was born in Georgia on the land as a living being, as a baby, on Georgia. So I swear my allegiance as a state national to Georgia. That's what a state national is, meaning I swear my allegiance to my state of Georgia as being a living woman born on the land, not the sea.
I understand. I was under the impression that becoming a foreign national would be as far as foreign to the corporate government.
No. Foreign national means you're foreign to this country, period. You're not of this country. That's a foreign national.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If I may.
Yes.
It's Marshal Cote up in New York. We have to watch the way we describe our states. State of Georgia is a federal franchise. Georgia State is where you were born.
I'm a Georgian, right? Exactly. Yeah, it is.
It's tough habit to get out. And also, I don't know if a lot of you understand that, what Marshal Haywood was just saying. When you're swearing your allegiance to your state, like I'm in New York, the state of New York, they could kiss my you-know-what. I don't swear my allegiance to them. I swear at them. Okay, I literally, if I'm going to swear my allegiance to New York State, I am swearing my allegiance to the people of the state and the land mass of the state. Has nothing to do with politics. Has nothing to do with these scumbag politicians we have up here, or even New York City. I think, and I'm not sure, but we're still looking into this. New York City might not even be part of New York State. It might actually be another one of those foreign-held city-states.
It is.
But that's just it's the verbiage. It's how we describe things and how we say things. We all have to relearn because we've had our whole lives. I've had 58 years, almost 59 years now, of calling it state of or county of or town of. That's not what it is. That's what we're battling.
That's why I said the land. That's why I said the land. That's why I said I swear my allegiance to the land of the state, the Georgia. I'm a Georgian. I was born on this land of Georgia.
Correct. In common law.
Right. I was born a baby, a living baby, on this land in Georgia. That's my allegiance. I wasn't born anywhere else. I was born on this land in Georgia. And my ancestors here, they didn't migrate. They migrated in 1500, but my ancestors were even here on this land in Georgia. Some of them were in Nevada. My Cheyenne was in Nevada, but my Cherokee was right here in Georgia in the 1700s. So my roots, my grassroots are on this land in Georgia. That's where my allegiance is. It ain't nowhere else. It's right here.
That's it.
Not to a corporation, but right here. I'm a Georgian. So it's not to a corporation. It's not to the federal government, because the federal government and a U.S. citizen is District of Columbia, Samoa, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
That's a U.S. citizen. And a foreign national would be Russia, UK, Canada, Iran, Iraq, anywhere else. That's foreign national. I'm not one of those. I'm a Georgian. That's the difference. And if you want to break it down even more, all the de facto, and that's all we call them, that de facto, but your police officers, your public office holders, they are federal employees. Those are they cannot even sue themselves. The government can't sue itself. That's they're talking about with Trump and everything's going on there. They cannot even sue themselves. Okay? But they are the only ones that are held under codes and statutes, not citizens. People are not held under codes and statutes. Only those that are federal employees are held under codes and statutes. Even the citizens aren't even held under codes and statutes.
That's what I've always thought.
So traffic infractions are not even for citizens.
If I may?
Yes.
I think you have to be more clarifying, because when you say, like, gentleman says, "Are you a foreign national?" You are foreign to the United States. You got to ask in what context? A foreign national for who?
No, the United States is foreign to us. They are here. They are not part of the United States. The United States, per the Queen of England, the United States, capital United States, Inc., of District of Columbia, is a foreign nation to the sovereign states of the lowercase United States.
Yeah,
so they are a foreign nation, not us.
You're right. They're foreign to the United States of America. Yeah, but I guess when has the sea change happened? Is there something? Is like Donald Trump? Is he going to do something? You have any news about what he's actually going to do to recognize the 50 individual states, and to make so anymore it is that they are foreign to us and we are not foreign to them?
He's already doing that, Steve.
I mean, what is there? Are they going to pass some type of,
He's already doing that, and he's already doing those executive orders. He's already said he's giving everything back over to the people. He's already doing that, Steve.
Then when is the point that when these criminals that accuse you of a crime, like of, let's say, a traffic infraction, which I believe used to be called the bills of pains and penalties in the old days, and the penalty for issuing a bill of pains and penalties was death. That's for like a traffic ticket type offense in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
So when is the I wondered, do you know what I mean? What is the name? Well, I guess we got to wait to see what the legislation is that turns. And what about these courts? Well, let's say you go down the road, you get stopped, you go get hauled into your local county court, and they want to assess all these fees and traffic tickets. What's your suggestion?
We have a lot of suggestions that we've been using, and they've been working. We don't consent, we don't comply, and we use that on those traffic violations and those traffic infractions, and they've been working.
I mean, do you always have to do a counterclaim, or
We take their jurisdiction away from them because they don't have their jurisdiction.
By what means? Explicitly, is there like a document?
By Supreme Court law.
What is that? Is there somebody that can provide that? Is it like a document or something, or a notice?
There's documents everywhere, Steve.
It's case law, and if you will look up case law and get in with freecountry.com, you can download those and see that there are, I think, 16 case laws that actually state that are challenging jurisdiction.
Okay, just challenge jurisdiction. That's what I guess I answered my own question. Always challenge jurisdiction. They can't get past that.
Bond versus United States 529 U.S. 334 2000 Appendix B. That's one of them. Clarified Trust Company versus United States 318 U.S. 363 1942 Appendix 4. That's another one.
Okay, that's maybe under the law of the case or something. They're driving a section for laws of the case or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, again, it's 10 o'clock. I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm going to ask again, are there any more comments or questions for the marshals?
if I may.
Yes.
This is Marshal Hanson. Wouldn't, if he had plates, Marshal's tags, wouldn't that help with him getting pulled over for an infraction, for a traffic infraction? And I yield.
Well, when you do the state national passport and you go down to the tag office and you get that corrected, your status corrected with your state national passport, that's going to help stop some of that. And then once I finish doing the steps that I'm doing with the marshals, your ID, as a matter of fact, even with the post office now and some other places, I don't use state ID anymore. I use my marshal's ID, and they take that gladly. So I'm seeing, specifically in Georgia, I'm seeing that I don't have to use federal or state ID anymore. I use my marshal's ID, and they take it. So, like I said, I'm doing other steps, and as I go along, I'm going to be doing either a biweekly or a monthly newsletter once we get this website up, and I'll be giving step-by-step instructions of what I've done, how I've done it, so other states can copy me or shadow me in what I've done so that y'all can do it as well and then implement it in your states.
Now, from what I hear about this, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, wouldn't those tags be registered so that if a police officer pulls you over, wouldn't that be in the computer?
Well, that's what I said. When you have your state national passport or if you have your ID or whatever, and you go down and say, look, here's my oath, here's my ID, since it's mandatory that you make us have a tag, you need to correct my status to reflect this. Everybody else has corrected my status, so now you need to correct my status. They have no choice.
If I may?
Yes.
Does the state national passport activate any type of do not interrogate, do not detain?
That it does in every, well, see, what it does is when you do that, it corrects your status in every system, IRS, Social Security, everywhere. The only system it doesn't affect or doesn't do anything is your tag commissioner. That's why you have to go to the tag office, and I've already tried this with the two people in Georgia that have already done this. You go to the tag office and say, everybody else has corrected my status in their system but y'all. So because you say that I have to have a tag on my private carriage, then I need you to correct my status to meet this. And they will.
Yes, they will.
And that then shows that you do not stop or detain because you're a state national. You're not a citizen. You do not fall under their codes and statutes. And as a non-citizen state national, if you were in the military, which you can still get in the military actually, any of your pensions, any disability, anything that you had, you still, by law, Supreme Court law, and by Congress, you still get. Fact. And if you are a college student getting a financial grant, you also get it because on the FAFSA, it asks if you're a U.S. citizen or, in quotes or in parentheses, a non-citizen state national. It asks that. Fact. So you are recognized. The only reason they don't bring any of that up is because, in quotes from the State Department, it does not, those applications do not come across our desk, in quotes.
Yeah, if I may. What if one has a alternative plate that's not a state-issued ownership plate? Vehicle ownership, motor vehicle ownership plate.
What about it?
you still have to get once you get the state passport, you're still required to go to the tag office and say, hey, everybody has corrected my status. You tell them verbally, don't you have to do that with a letter? And maybe, give 7 days
to do this. Like I said, you're going to have to show them proof of who you are and why you're needing the status corrected on your tag. And if you have that proof, then they have to change the status. If you change your status in every other system, and they've taken it in every other system, and you have the proof of that, then they have to change it on your tag.
Yeah, you know what I believe you need? I think you would need some type of paragraph of explanatory text to hand them and tell them, put this in, something standardized, that everybody, instead of everybody doing a different thing, everybody, saying this, saying that, just something standardized with maybe a I don't know, maybe attached to some type of notice or something that has a lot of case law with it, but just one paragraph, and attach that on the surface. This saying this shall be posted in the on the screen when stop is attempted.
No, actually, when you're a non-citizen state national, you have diplomatic immunity, and that automatically comes up as do not stop, do not detain.
Okay, it's a little bit simpler than that. Okay.
Okay, 10:06. Again, do we have any more questions or comments for the marshals?
If I may.
Yes.
Marshal Haywood, we got on the call a little late. This is Marshal Dolly, and when was the soonest we would be able to get those non-citizen passports, those state national passports?
All you have to do is go Google the DS-11, download it and print it, and email me for the instructions, and I will give you step-by-step, and I will email you the step-by-step instructions. And you can do it as soon as you need to.
Thank you, and I yield.
You're welcome.
The DS-11, what type of form is that? Is that like federal or state? What?
No, that's the passport. And on there it asks you if you're a U.S. citizen or a non-citizen state national. It's a DS-11 for the passport.
Well, an official passport form, U.S. Passport form?
Yes,
DS-11. Thank you.
Senior Chief, I emailed you a request for that info, but I emailed it to Bella Haywood, so
that's
is that
fine.
all right?
You can do that. Yep, that's fine. You can do it there, too.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and like I said, I'll get to you after I get done with the doctor tomorrow.
Bella, may I ask how you making out with your blood situation?
Not very good.
Okay, did you get my message? I left you the message on the specific nutrient that you needed to take that would what do you have, aggregation in your blood? It's like clumping up and getting thick?
Well, no, they've come up with something differently on my blood. They one of my last doctor who I did away with actually did a test behind my back, didn't tell me about it. Found out something about it, didn't tell me about it, never gave me treatment. 3 other doctors did some things that they weren't supposed to do because they didn't know I had something else. So now everybody's going to have to do some corrective treatment, and now my new doctor is going to have to figure out what the hell he's going to do.
Well, let me tell you the bottom line. Let me tell you the bottom line. None of those drugs work.
I know they don't.
You need to do it with functional medicine, which is nutrients. And I told you on that, I left a message for you. If you want me to call you and not talk on this call here, I will do that. But I told you there's only one thing you need, and within probably half an hour, that will be start to within 1 day, it'll be corrected.
I don't think that's going to correct this.
You know, there was a guy, a patent examiner, like at the end of the beginning of the 1900s. He said that every invention that could ever be invented has already been invented.
Yeah, well, if he can get rid of bone marrow cancer, then I will clap my hands.
What is that nutrient, by the way, if you don't mind?
That's Protovite. Prodovite. Look it up on YouTube, and you'll see like they'll have a video.
Might just take it anyway. Thank you.
No, you take that. No, everybody needs that, but that other problem that should be also no problem. Fairly easy.
Do you have a source where we can purchase that?
Yeah, just go to the Prohibited company. They'll send it right to you on the internet, or go to Call to Decision. Pastor Butch Paw, I believe, sells the Prohibited. Call to Decision Ministries, ctdm.com. And he has a website. I think it's probably on that website, or you could go right to the company. But you could support him. That would be great. ctdm.com.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you need a little bit. That could be very easily. If you let the doctors do what they want to do, you're not gonna make it.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna let them. I'm not gonna do chemo, and I'm not doing none of that junk. I'm not doing none of that.
You just got to get you need certain nutrients, all the nutrients and minerals, and first of all, everybody needs the same stuff. Everybody, you and everybody, and then you work on the specialized stuff that'll knock that right out. Then.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let this new doctor, like I said, go through. He'll probably do another whole panel of genetic testing and all that for himself, because usually that's how the newer doctors, and this is a German doctor, so he'll probably want to do his own testing anyway. So, and I'm sure he's probably going to want to go after this last doctor, because, like I said, this last doctor did his own test without telling me. He didn't tell me this was there. He didn't treat it. He didn't do anything. He just kept quiet. So I'm sure this new doctor is going to have a field day.
May I ask a question? Do you have a Geiger counter?
No.
You know anybody has a Geiger counter?
Mm-mm.
You go over your car with a Geiger counter where you sit, as a general rule.
Right.
I yield.
Okay.
May I?
Yeah.
Marshal Haywood, it's Noel on Maryland. I just sent you an email a little bit ago to Bella address. It starts with direct path. Just please check it out, and I yield. Thank you.
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you.
Yes, may I?
Yes.
I also sent you an email that I just realized some things that have taken place. It's in your email now, and also text you at the same time. I just saw it happen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
If I may?
Yes.
Just a quick question. If I drive a truck, for a living, so would I be able to still, because you have to have a driver's license to be able to do that, would I be able to, become a national, get out of the
you can. Yeah, you can actually. Even with your driver's license, when you do that, they still have to correct your, even if you have to have that, and that's what you have to understand. Even when you correct your status that way, they have to correct your status with everything. That meaning, even if you have to have your CDL for your driver's license, for your over-the-road, for your truck, they have to correct your status on everything.
Okay, so then if I email you at the Marshal Haywood at freecountry.com, could you send me that information, and then I can start working on that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much, and I will, along with some other people, be praying for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I yield.
Yes.
If I may, send in my positive energy to Georgia.
Thank you.
Raising a vibration up in Georgia.
Thank you.
Amen.
Hey, this is Marshall Wilson. I want to say, while we're sitting at the DMV talking to them about correcting our status in the computers, we should also be trying to give them these titles back to these worthless titles back, whereas they can confiscate your vehicles and get the original paperwork that came with the vehicles. I've been reading up on that, and I'm still trying to see what exactly is the paperwork. But what I'm seeing is that when these vehicles were manufactured, there was a original paperwork that came with them that the state, when they sold it to somebody, they turned the original paperwork over to that state, and that's when they issued them titles which say that they don't belong to you. I yield.
Right. Well, what I was told was is when you get the ostentation of the title from the state, you also can actually call the manufacturer of the car, whether it be Chrysler or whatever, give them the VIN number and the model number and tell them you want the original, and I can't remember the name of it now.
The manufacturer's title of origin.
Yeah, the manufacturer's title of, that. You tell them you want that on the car. That you're the only, you have your possession, the car's in your possession, you own it, you got the title, you have it, and that you want that on that car.
If I may,
once you get that, then that's it. That's your private carriage.
I think there might be one step that you need to do first. I think you need to write to your DMV that has of your state, whatever that you have. You have a certificate of title. That's just that's not a real title. It's a piece of paper saying that there is a true highest title for that somewhere, but you don't have it. But
it's in the state. You have to send that. You have to send your copy or a copy of your title. I'm telling them that you want your title back.
First, there's one preliminary step. You need to send them a letter and ask them to notify you if there are any liens on this vehicle, and if not, then you demand the original, or just send me a notice that there are no. Please respond to my letter to confirm that there are no liens and that I am the true owner of this vehicle. Word it that way, and that I am the true owner having highest title in ownership in this vehicle. And then that's what you need to do. And then that clears that up, that there's no liens. And then you're kind of like slickly getting them to respond. Normally they won't respond to stuff like that, but if you kind of just word it in that manner, maybe they'll respond to you.
Right.
Okay, then you have that letter. And then you can send that to, if you are correct, the vehicle company, the motor company, right, and then attach that to it and say, please. But I don't know if you're going to get that from those people. Did you explicitly, somebody tell you that you could get that from the manufacturer?
Somebody told me you could get it.
If I may?
Yes.
This is Marshal Dolly. The research we've done is that you can only get the MSO, the manufacturer's statement of origin, on a brand new car.
Right.
Once the car has been a used car and it's already been titled and registered with plates, then you can no longer get the MSO because the state owns that car regardless of how many owners have had it. The only way to get the MSO is when you purchase a brand new car, and that means outright. You cannot have payments because then the bank owns it, okay? So you have to buy the brand new car outright
with cash
for the MSO at the time, so that, because they'll say to you, do you want us to get the plates for you or do you want to get them? You say, no, I want to get them,
right.
And then they hand you the MSO. Then you'd make a copy of the MSO, and you put the original in the safe place, and you keep the copy of the MSO in your car, and then when they pull you over, you say, this is my car, and I'm the owner, the state doesn't own this, and that's why I have my marshal plates on it, whatever you want to say to them. So that way, but it has to be a brand new car.
Not necessarily. There's two other alternatives to that, I believe. One of them is, I know a guy that deals with like other foreign countries with heavy equipment. And when he sells a piece of equipment to a foreign country, it has to go with a certificate of origin. And what he told me he does is he writes to the State Department of whoever has the registration, that has the titles, okay? And he notifies them that I'm selling this vehicle out of the country, and you could say out of the United States. And I require the manufacturer's certificate of origin. Please send it within 10 days. But he gets them, he said, all the time for like pieces of like track equipment and stuff like that. And then the other way is used vehicles from a foreign country. I have, I don't know if the flood in Fukushima wiped them out, but in Japan, I have a source where we could get vehicles in from Japan with the, I believe they come with the certificate of title of origin. But the problem is a lot of them have the wrong side steering wheel. You got to be a mailman. But a lot of diesels, a lot of diesel like pickups and diesel like SUVs and stuff like that. Beautiful. They have a law in Japan, a rule or a law, I forget what they call it, but the longer you own your car, the more taxes you got to pay on it every year. Like here in this country, we just park in the back of the field or whatever, you know, in the backyard or whatever, and use it when you want. But over in Japan, every year they know that you have a car, and like the third year, they try to get everybody to get brand new vehicles every second or third year, and then they have all those vehicles they need to get rid of.
If I may.
So if anybody wanted, we could maybe get a bunch of them. I don't know about with the other steering wheel, but you'd have the manufacturer's certificate of origin. You have, you know, a diesel engine if you want. Nice stuff. You know, all the newest stuff. Toyotas, Nissans, all that stuff, you know. But anyhow, I yield. Let Marshal Haywood know if you guys want to put a program together to get a fleet of them.
Okay, go ahead. Whoever said man.
So this is Marshal Schubert. There's a video floating around on YouTube where de facto cop tells people how to get their car out of the system, and he says you've got to take it out for international travel. You remove it from the DMV for international travel.
You have a copy of that video?
Yeah.
Can you send it to me?
Yep.
Is it a YouTube video or private video?
It's a YouTube video where the family had pulled over and the mother had started the process but didn't follow through. He said, well, it shows up. She started the process. She didn't finish. So I'm going to let you guys go, but technically you can still fall under the codes and statutes. But he let them go and told them how to finish the process, and he said, once you're done, then your car is yours.
How about the name to that the title to that YouTube video? What is the title? Okay, you could announce it on the.
If you give me just a second, I can track it down. I sent it to Justice Mickey.
Hubert, just send that to me and I'll load it up on the main page and on my page. Steve, you can get it from my page. You follow me everywhere, you'll get it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Can I ask what your site is, website?
It's, the Facebook page is the Continental Marshals for the Republic.
Okay, Facebook. Okay, thank you.
It's public. Uh-huh. Okay, 10:24. Do we have any more comments or questions for the Marshal?
Yeah, I have one little comment. First, I did do the travel affidavit to my state commission. My 60 days is not up yet, and I'm still waiting to see if they do send me my MSO. But I know that there's another way too. Just like you would authenticate your birth certificate to be the true owner of it.
Yeah.
with the Rule 22, Minnesota 220 affidavit as stating that you're the owner of that. You can do it that way, or as I'm going to be waiting to see the results, as I sent it about 30 days ago, I sent it to the commissioner of my state, an affidavit, a travel affidavit, where I'm requesting for my MSO in 60 days. So that's just a comment with that. I'll yield. Thank you.
Right.
A question, please.
Yes.
I don't have state ID. I turned it back in. Will I be able to use my Marshal ID to get this passport?
Well, you don't really have to. When you do this and you go to the Secretary of State, you don't have to have an ID. What you have to have is either your oath or a declaration of status, which is a regular oath that you filed in public, which is a public record. So you have to have either your marshal's oath or your declaration of status, which is the body of our oath, but it's just an organic oath that you've actually filed in public. And then you can go to Walgreens and have a passport picture made to put on the DS-11 when you send it in, and or you can have your birth certificate that you send, a copy of your certified copy of your birth certificate that you send in. That's all you have to have.
Marshal Haywood, God bless you for finding that. God bless you. I yield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But like I said, it has to go to the Secretary of State. And the Secretary of State is the one that sends it in to the Department of State, and then it goes in to the Secretary of State as a certificate, but it comes back to you as a non-citizen state national passport.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Okay, guys, so I'm gone. So I'm going to do the count. If you ain't got any more questions or comments for the Marshals.
In New York, DS passport application is $200 to process.
No. Like I said, if you do the DS-11 and you do it through the Secretary of State, you get a money order for $60. Send it in to your Secretary of State. Email me for the directions on how to fill it out. $60 to your Secretary of State.
But we don't have to go to the post office to do the passport?
No. You send it to your Secretary of State.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm going to email you for more information on that. Thank you.
Yep.
If I may, you send it to the Secretary of State with $60 filled out, and do you have the specific fields that have to be filled in the proper manner for that passport?
Yep. I have step-by-step instructions.
Okay. I yield.
Yep.
May I?
Yep.
Is Randy T, is that correct? Is it Randy T at afreecountry.com?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. I yield.
I am.
Okay, doing the countdown.
God bless you, Senior Chief.
Yep. 3.
We love you, Bella. We love you.
Love you too. 3, 2, 1.
Call recording off.